G'day, how you going? I'm Ian Apples, your acrylic guru from Australia. Welcome to my YouTube channel where I like to show people how they can paint in acrylic, whether you're an advanced artist or a beginner artist. Watch me show you what you can do, and I'll show you how I do it on this size canvas right there in inches. And I'm also going to get some colours bolting up the screen there. They're what I'm going to use in this tutorial here. So, winter scene, landscape layout. Watch the video a few times so as you know what I'm getting up to. Alright, so let's get on over here and get right into it. I want to start off with some soft body titanium white mixed with a bit of retarder, because I've got a few colours that I feel I might want to add into this sky. So I need this to blend smoothly like the oil paints can get happening with their work. Start at the sky half first, and I can always come down to the lower half when I'm ready to paint that area. So I just want to, I'm using this pretty much, I use this paintbrush like a shovel. I shovel it on there, crisscross it all over the area where I want to cover. I'll just come down to about there on the whole lot. So I've shoveled it on, so to speak, crisscrossed it into all the tooth, getting around the edges. Now I'll just come to the tip. I need to flatten that out now, like I'm ironing up a new sheet, getting all the creases out. And I just want to go left and right and get that to an even thin film. Okay, I've got me cerulean blue and I want some grey mixed with it, so it's that cold silvery blue, overcasty blue sky colour. I'll mix all that together. And obviously the white on the canvas is going to lighten this up a bit as well. So I'll start at the top, bring it down, and I'm just going to X stroke it like that to my horizon line. There we go. Get the tops done like that. Now what I want to do is simply come to the tip of this brush and stroke that left and right. I've got some white areas in there. They're going to show me where to put me other colours. Now down here I've got some Indian yellow and permanent alizarin, and I just want a little bit of that into me Indian yellow to get some kind of bright orange going up there in the sky. A little bit more. There we go. Now I'm going to dance some of this on up here, where these white spots are, a little bit there. I'm using the one side of the brush first. There we go. Now I want to get the horizon on. So I'm going to turn my brush around, and my horizon's probably about here. So I want to get this, I'm pushing it, stamping it on. Okay, stamped it on. There we go. And I want to simply stroke that through me sky. Down, up, X stroke. See how I'm pushing, I'm forcing it through the sky. And now I'll just get this bit and I'll push it down, and then I'll slowly come up as well. It's kind of like a warm sun-setting, snowy sky. There we go. Okay, I'm grabbing the titanium white with my hog bristle fan brush, and I want to stamp on some cloud formations. Come from here, and I want to just try and spider out distance. So they're coming out like that. I'll turn my brush around, get something there. I've got a blending brush and my kitchen towel, a rag, something to wipe it. Now I want to get these clouds in the sky. I've done it in that shape, hopefully so it looks like there's distance and they're coming over our head. I'm going to slowly pull the bottom of it down, because these are the distant ones. Just something like that. Try not to get a line, try and make a body of a cloud. Let me look in the monitor there. Yeah, that's not too bad. Leaving the top and just slowly stamping the bottom down into my painting there. Come across there, I can add more harshness there to put it in front. I need to rinse that brush every time I reload it, otherwise it's going to keep bringing up contaminated white paint. I probably want some I'll take advantage of that yellow. That can be the underneath of me cloud because the sun's slightly gone lower in the sky, so it's reflecting the yellow sun colour into the cloud. So I'm going to stamp this cloud body all the way along there. So wiping my brush again, I'll blend that into the yellow half of the cloud. So that's the bottom half. It looks like it's probably got the sun shining up at it. Tickle the top a bit, just smear it so it's not so brushy looking. Same again here. Here's another yellow one that I made, so I'll put a cloud on that. And then one on here. Pushing it out. Clouds are so unique in the sky. You can make so many different clouds in every painting. Now I want to get this to look like it's coming over our head, so I'll keep the bottom, okay, hopefully, and I'll blur the top up into the sky. I'm going to need to look in my monitor and see what's happening there. Yeah, I don't want them all looking like humps out there, so I'm going to get them on there and then distort where I feel I might have to distort them. I want to blend that up to buggery there and get that yellow mixed with it at the bottom of it because it's got warmth in there. What I feel this sky needs is quite a bit of cirrus cloud just jingering up here, so I'm going to scatter them in on kind of a motion like that. Small there and coming out, try to get it look like they're coming over our heads, and then cross bond them in a way like bricks are cross bonded like this. You would have seen this formation in the sky, I'm sure, wherever you live in the world. And I want to leave the vibrancy of that there that I've just put on, but soften the hard edges down so we get that cirrus, high cirrus cloud look like they're floating in the sky. Good gap filler clouds these are. Now maybe I might have overdone the sky. Once I finish doing this, I'll have a look, because sometimes we can overcloud, we can overblend. There's so much we can always overdo, but if you've done a painting like that, it's always good to sit back and look at it, and you can learn from just watching your old work what you've done there and how you want to change it and evolve from those habits. Now I'll just add a bit of detail in these other clouds that are there. So like this one here, I'm looking at it, it's what I want to explain, how it's all one value. We've got a little bit of brightness up there. So I want to get some of that brightness cracking up here, billowing in, just like that. Looking at it, I'm looking in, I can get a bit more, I'll call this yumminess. Something there, a bit over there, and where the tail is. And what I normally do with the way I paint acrylic clouds is that so-called yumminess, I leave the vibrancy of it there, but I just sit down the edges of it. I'll leave that top edge bright, I'll blur the bottom half. This here, I'll blur the bottom half. Now I've got to keep wiping my brush. Look what's on it. It's important to understand if you're painting clouds this way, you got build up, remove it off your brush. And this is adding pretty much like a third dimension to your clouds. We've got that yellow that's picked it up. Yeah, right here, that's nice and bright there. I have explained it in other videos, but what I want to say here, see how this went around like that? I always deliberately, instead of just leaving it round like that, I always splay it back. So it's just more interesting looking for the art's sake. So it's a bit more pleasing to the eye. It's just a love habit I like to do with my blending of clouds. And you'll see just now how that cloud's got more luster and dimension to it. It's just full of bullshit. Now I'm looking here, I have a bit of a tail and willow it, or wibbly wobble it like that into this cloud. There's one there, and this one here, bit bits of yumminess floating up from the yellow. Now it's important when you're doing my so-called yumminess, I've did it in this cloud, it's a little bit there, but it's okay here. Don't have it stamped on so gluggy and thick. Now watch this, I've been using a 2-inch blending brush, but I'm going to go down to an even smaller one, and I really want to show what I'm doing. I'm hitting that yumminess that I've put on there, and then I'm smearing it in a way, stop, have a look. You can see from stamping that on to this, it kind of gives it that airbrush look type of vibe. It's such an easy procedure to do when you know how to do it, and being clouds can be a nemesis for so many people, but once you know the trick how to get a good looking cloud in your art, you'd be gobsmacked. I was gobsmacked. And it's just a lot of fun to do something so simple, because as a lot of us know, a simple cloud can be the most hardest thing to paint. And sometimes we get them right, sometimes we don't. You can see how that's sat down compared to here, and we're going to do the same here. Just sit down. Now I will advise you, if you really want to master your art journey, grab yourself a camera, a phone or something, and instead of sitting back squinting at your eyes, have that camera over your work and just looking in it, because that's what I do now. I'm looking into it, and it's a beautiful, brilliant way to squint your eyes and look at your work and judge where you need more attention to your brush strokes. I'll just fix this up where that went in front of that cloud. So what I'll do is I'll put that in front of that cloud, continue back through, adding a bit of bulkness to its body, adding the yumminess, leaving a lot of the dull stuff there, and see how this is sort of empty. We might have a tree there, I don't know, but in case we haven't, I want to kind of do what I did there and just put some kind of that there. And in blending it down, watch this, that looks quite harsh. Leave that brightness there, bring the bottom down. I can even use my finger, you can use anything. But I'm not going to use my finger because I've got my brush here, but I'm just showing you that if you're really desperate. I've got to wipe because, as you can see, there's a lot there. And just push that yumminess light and dull here and there. This one here that we put, we can have a continuation of something like that. Bit of body, and then quickly, while it's still a bit rubbery and wet, I'll use my finger here, you want to pull it down the lower half of the sky so it looks like it's fading away. See, I'm going this way and that way as I'm doing it, pushing it. You can get an idea of just what's happening out there. I'm just putting something out here. See, this is working with my finger the way it's looking because I've got the rubber glove on, and the rubber is acting like a substitute brush. It's giving texture and good movement and loveliness right there. I'm grabbing a little bit of the permanent alizarin and I'm just making a slight pink here with some of this here. Don't want it too loud because, mind you, when this dries, being acrylic, it dries a little bit darker, so be aware of that if you're at that stage you're learning your colours. Because with this, I just want to mark where my horizon line's going to be with some kind of this value. Not sure if I want to put this in here or not, but I'm going to anyway, just because if I don't, I'll never know. Now I'm just going to use this fan brush. I'm scraping it along the bottom, and then I'm using the top to kind of flush it out, fair it out, blend it out. So it's just that hint of this colour in the sky there, the warmness there, just along here somewhere. You don't have to do this if you're following this tutorial and you want to paint the exact same thing I'm doing here. Right along here, because I suppose the middle bit will be a little bit open, so we'll get some lineal stuff right across under that cloud there. I want to look in my monitor just to see what colour that's looking like. That's looking okay, it's looking good, I'm happy with that. I could probably put a hint of it up there, just a hint hint of it in there. I don't want to overdo this though. I don't want to destroy the sky that I've already kind of got going there. And that, what I did to this one, is added, let's do it to this one here. It's adding that warm value of the sun coming down, and as it's coming down, it's shining the light up at the clouds. I've seen that in clouds. You don't realise that till you paint, then you realise, oh, the sun's down pointing at the bottom of the clouds now. And when it does that, it puts those colours at the base of your clouds there. So that's just why I'm putting this kind of at the bottom here. It's very subtle because it is acrylic. Now see, when I put that on, I got some lines there, so I just use my rubber glove to soften them down a bit. And you can just see what this light mix has done to my clouds. It's added depth, it's added value, it's added weather towards them, you know, that they're not so flat anymore. With this bit here, I'm simply putting a bit more white onto the brush, just so as I can, because I looked in the monitor, it does look a bit heavy, so I'm going to tame that down a bit. From there, I'll have to hide a lot of that. I like the way this has turned out up here everywhere, but this was a bit iffity-affity, but we get iffity-affities at times, don't we? There we go. Now I've got burnt umber, I've got that pile of permanent alizarin, I've mixed some of that over here. So I've got that red tinge, that red sun value that we put in the clouds. It's in the highlights of these distant trees. Now you can see a line here, that's where I want to go. I want to just get the, I'll scribble this in first. I'm just going to come along like this. There we go. And I want to get me trees with this. Just wherever. This is just the base colour for me distant trees. Now we're not going to do just one solid cheap colour and move on. I want to put value into this painting. So even our distance is going to have build. I'm not worried about how far I come down here because that's all going to be cut back to the appropriate height. So what I'm doing now is I'm getting my flat brush on its side, and that wiggly line that I put there, I'm just trying to make it comby and sharp here and there. And then I'll come in with my small dagger brush and I'll appropriately detail these up, but I'll just simply get that in there like that first. Okay, so I've got that there. What I'm going to do now, grab me dagger brush and start making these, like, I know the middle here is going to be more open than the edge, so I want to like finish these small trees off first. So see how I'm now just kind of detailing them with tops. Now it's a little bit translucent there, so I'll just kind of thicken it up a bit. There we go. So I'm just detailing it now, and all this other bit that I'm not touching with my brush is just adding depth and detail for the distance there. I want to have, let's say, a pine tree here, let's say. So let's get him nice and airy up there. And then let's try and get a pine tree there. I'm hopeless at these trees, but I always give them a go. Do it that way. There we go, we got one there. And I want one maybe about here. Let's go a little bit taller. And this one can be a little bit heavier set as well. So I'm just left and right, because I'll add some darker values in this as well. Maybe something over here. So I'm just doing a line with my dagger brush and combing it left and right like so. This for some distance. This one here looks a bit haphazard, half-baked. So I'm just fixing that up on camera. So I'll just simply grab some of the burnt umber, throw a bit of black with it, get some darker values in here down there, turn my brush around the same way I used it. And this first colour that I put on is pretty much the sunlight highlighting this with the silhouetted edge. That's why I did that soft edge first. So if the camera can pick up this darker value that I'm putting on now, hopefully in the camera it looks like it's highlighted with that red edge. So I'm not even going to put the trunk in, I'll just come down like this. Now I'm going to leave the right hand side of this a bit shy, hopefully, or do I got to do it the other way? And then I'll do the other one. So hopefully it just looks like one's further forward than the other one. This is just minute detail, but when we're progressing from beginners to, and we're stepping into our advanced stage, you want to do all these procedures. I've got over 500 videos for beginners, and I want to do a lot more advanced videos. You might learn something from them, you might just enjoy watching them, or you might think, oh, what a waste of time. But everyone's different. Everybody gets different values out of certain things. And this bottom stuff at the bottom will also put just little bits of grubby dark stuff down there as well, but leaving that first colour on there because that's the sunlight highlighting it. Come in front of there. Now I'm grabbing a little bit of white, greying that mixture up a bit. Do this one first. Like snow on top of that, but I've got to do it very gingerly now. Finer, you're getting finer brushes, finer brush strokes. This is a big tree, so it's going to be noticeable out there with just some distant snow on there, but as we come closer, the snow will be more detailed. I just want to have a look in my monitor and see how that colour. I'm pulling that bit that I greyed up into some more white, okay? Because what I want to do is this row of trees now, instead of them being flat, I want to create them where they look like they're coming out this way towards the view. So I want to get some of this. I might have to ink it a little bit, meaning adding a little bit of water to the brush. And I just want to add some lay down bits here, meaning lower bits that hopefully make it look like it's coming that way and then this way towards the camera or towards the view. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, but I'm giving it a go anyway. Now before I put something in front of this or cut it back, I want to create the bottom distance. I want to grab the white, so this is like the snow colour, and it's going to have, where's this burn umber? A little bit of this in there. And what I want to do, I'm going to come way lower than I need to. I'm going to be here, put it on, right? Get it to me solid area there. I'll wipe the brush. I shouldn't be using this flat because I might ruin it. And I just want to fade it into there. It's a lot of detail work, but it's worth it at the end. There's no need to rush a painting. Like I said before, paintings are going to outlive us, and we need to understand, put some time and effort into our art instead of, because I do know as a beginner we do like to boom, 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 rush it. Come on, let's get this done. But we also got to learn, well, hang on a minute, we don't have to rush this. I don't need retarder in this like I did the sky. This is just detail work. Now I want to add a cabin, just probably, where's these trees, just a bit over here somewhere. Now this is where you don't want to go and put it crooked, so when it's done it sort of looks a bit, the cabin looks a bit crooked. Simple way to make that not happen, there's me horizon, okay? See my brush? I'm simply going to make the base of the cabin come from this level, not from here or here, okay? I'm going to just grab some basic black just to silhouette the shadow part of the cabin. So I'll pretty much do, I want a bit of the sky sticking out, so I'll do the edge first there, and it'll come to about here, okay? And then I want the peak of it about here, okay? And now I'm just going to gingerly use the black to map this lodge cabin or whatever it is in. I've just added more water to that paint. See how it's transferring from the brush onto the canvas better. Now these paints I'm using, they are Atelier interactive acrylic paints. They're brilliant paints. A lot of professional artists that sell quality work use these brands and they're brilliant. I love them. And anyone else that uses them would agree. So that's just our cabin. Another bit of the lodge coming along here. About here. I've lost the sharpness to my flat brush, so I just got to make sure that she's sharp again. Now I'm going to bring this along down there and just block this in all black. I mean, it looks thick at the moment. I know what's in my head, but once it's finished you will also see as well. That's why I say watch the video a couple of times. You will notice this little bit here is just gone beyond that edge line because it's going to make up the dimension, the perspective on the gable of the edge of that roof there. I don't know what this is going to be, but I'm just going to try and cover it up with some snow and stuff and see how it looks, so it's something sat back. I've given that a light dry. Before I add the snow onto that, I want to add a bit of extra closer foliage around these buildings. So I'm just using the burnt umber that was mixed with some of the darker black, and I'll get some of this on there. Let's say we've got something here. It's darker than what's behind it. We get some more shrubbery along here, but the tops are important to get the airiness within them. Don't worry about the bottom. Probably put the slightest bit of gunk in here. Given that a dry, I want some of the white with the brown in it, a little bit more browner than that. And I'd like to just place some of this. Get it on there, get airy. There we go. And then this is going to sit in front of that, coming down. And then we've got some other ones here. I'm not destroying the darks that was in there. I don't want them destroyed. And where's that other little piece over here? Just probably something in front of it. Going a little bit lighter, just a little bit lighter. I want the very tops of this kind of highlighted. Is that doing what I want it to do? Let me have a look in the monitor. That's fine, very fine. And over here. If you feel those bushes are a little bit naked, we can always put some little fine trunks to the shrubs. Very fine. Like so. Down here I've got some titanium white and the cerulean blue. I've just tainted it, so I've got a baby blue, a powder blue for me snow on the roof of the cabin. Now I want to create that gable along here, so I want to get this right across the top of the roof there. Now I do not want a black line on the top edge of it. It's got to be, this colour's got to go right to the edge of it. And you want to try and get detailed brushes so these lines look like lines, not just a hint of a line. Right against that edge. There we go. This is going to set it all back into perspective. And there's me roof. I'll colour that in. Colour it in. I'll block that in. We have the slightest bit all the way down this back line here. Just there. This is coming to the other half of the gable, there. Right across the top of the roof here. Turn my brush around so I've got a sharp edge to that point. Now I'm finding it very difficult because I'm painting on a table easel here. I'd like to be sitting down at a table. It'll be a whole lot easier. Now this is going to stop about there-ish. So what I want to do now is just block this in to about there-ish. Could have, would have, should have used a flat brush, but I want to get this done. Funny there. Now there's another bit of snow just hitting gunk here. This bit of a roof has got snow on it, leaving the dark values at the lower half of it, but it's just got snow on top of it. So I'll get the top right against the edge. There we go, bang. And then all this dark that we put on is just going to look depth-defyingly deep, if that's a word. Hint of a window in here. Do a casement window. Just some detail on the building, like some veranda posts, so to speak. Now I'm going to get it more white now, just pure white. It still has the touch of blue in it, but it's more white, and I want to build it up now because that first bit of white, bluey white we put on has just added the depth to the white. I've got me free flow white paint here, titanium white, and I do want some of the blue into it now because I want to paint the white this colour here and be able to highlight it with the pure white. And what I will do is find me lines and sit back the stuff where I want it. So I'm going to come along here, sit that back, come across. I might go like that, bang. We're just getting the top line there against that mid-ground that we just painted on there, and we want to get that. So we're going to come along here now and then just there, come along. Make this where you want it's pushing all that back. Let's not go too high up there, we're not doing mountains, we're doing landscape here, so let's keep that a bit flat. Right through there, we're going to have some trees there anyway. Now what I'm going to do here is just simply brush this in. Don't worry about that paint, we're going to add some blues and whites to this. And I want to bring it down low enough to my next section. So let's come to about here, ink it up a little bit more so it's going to transfer. There we go. Watered it down a bit, put a bit more blue in it just so I can get the whole bottom. I'm just pretty much blocking in the whole bottom with the snow. So it's quite dry and draggy here, but I'm just playing with it with my brush. Now I'm going to transition them into that colour here so that I can get what I want. There we go. And snow, when you're painting snow or when you're learning to paint snow, I've never seen snow in real life, but I'll give it a good shot. I like to do it in sweeping, flowing strokes like that, because I feel snow has that soft, sweeping vibe about it. So that's just why I choose to stroke it that way with my brush strokes. Now I've still got this soft free flow paint. I've got to add a bit more blue now because I want the darker vibe of this snow laid where I need it. So I'm just using this 1/2 inch brush here. I think it's a 1/2 inch brush. And I want bits, so I want this coming across, where are we? Move out the way, you idiot. I want this coming across the painting like so, coming to a point, okay? I will grab another flat brush if I can find one. Here we go. Just to sink that in. You know how I waterfy water? Well, I'm just sinking down that shadow there. There we go. We got a vibe there? Yes, we got a vibe there. So I pick up my other brush. I've got 2 brushes now, so I'm working in unison with them all. I want to get a bit of darkness here. So there's going to be a tree here. So what I want to do is kind of spider this into that white, like so. Just stamp it on like that. Like you see me done with me putter on a brush. Grab this other brush now, and I want to sweep that into that half of the painting, and it's still wet, so it's allowing it to flow and scrumble together. It's not chalky and dry and blotchy. I want this a bit longer, so I'll just simply put it there. Come over here and sweep it in. Turn my brush and sweep it in and soften it in there, soften those edges. A little bit more over here. So pretty much come from there. Getting that darker area done. I want that a bit darker again now. And then using this brush and pulling it through, sweeping it onto the snow there. Now just to control where I want the actual white on this mid-ground snow here, I'll pick up the white with the flat brush again. Those 2 brushes that I just used, I've gone and washed them and wiped them pretty well. And I want to put where I want the crispy snow. So I'm going to stamp it on. Everything's still rubbery wet. I haven't dried nothing. But this is how I can control. I want to get this right in front of that. Right in front of that. Right in front of that. White. Just sweeping through. Sweep it through. Alright, I'm going to pull this over here where I can reach it. That's the burnt umber and the black. Because I want a dark tree to the right side of the painting now. And I want it from about here because I want some snow in front of it. So let's see, we'll just come straight off the paint. We'll come about here. There, we'll come there. Let's see how brave we can get. There we go. Now that little loop there, I'm going to take advantage of that and just make another fork coming off it like so. I got this brush here just to make a large shrub next to that tree. So I'm just going to load it up the way I want to stamp it onto the actual canvas. I want it more on the brown side, not too black. There we go. I don't want to cover this up, so I'll go to about here-ish, okay? So he's going to come from about here, and I'll build it up as I go, because see this edge here, it's solid. I don't want it solid, I want it open and hairy. So what I might do is get this to go to the actual thickness and come back with a brush I can control to get that, which would be my deer foot. So I'm going to just stamp this on. I want some windows in between it, and I'll bring this all the way up to about there, coming behind that tree there. So there's this one. So using my deerfoot brush, I can control this with a lot more openness at the ends. I'll show you. So like here, get it where I want. Look at that. Come from there and get it from where I want. It's important, if you get any opening bits here, try and leave them there, because if they're a solid blob, it kind of distorts the quality of your artwork, I find. So, now to finish that tree off, we need our script liner again. Very thin, come back into the build-up of the thing. Boom. Coming off here. Okay, now I'm going to grab that colour. Where are we? I'll use this polar white here because I need to get the snow on there. So, and now I want to make this tree's light and dark spots, the depth of it all, with this colour here. Right around there. I'm grabbing a bit more white just to probably get a bit more heavier snow in bits and bobs of that. Not too much. See these branches here? I want to try and flow it from where they are. How's that showing up? Yeah, that's okay. Just here and there, change the brush angles around. Somewhere here. So just grabbing that colour on your script liner, just kind of leave, it's important to leave the dark bits there and get this sitting on bits and bobs of it coming through the dark areas, like here, extending them in so they look part realistic. Because at the end of the day, you're gradually over time in your evolving in your artwork, it's gradually going to become, and you wanting it to become more realistic looking with your colours and your vibes of everything. Tiniest. Let's see if we can get it. The white collecting on those thicker branches, the snow. I'm grabbing the white, just tainting it with this colour here like a marble. It doesn't have to be solidly mixed. Picking up the white on that brush, just on one side of it, because I want to get that tree sticking out now. You can't see it, but we want to be able to see it, so that's what I'm doing now. Now you can dry it or you can work wet on wet with this. I'm just chose to leave it wet. I'm going to get one side really heavier than what it is. So you got to, don't feel the first pass had to make it work. If it doesn't, just keep working with it. That's what I'm doing. Boom, from there, getting some branches off this. Let's steal that one for this one's tree. Let me have a look if that's doing the job. Yeah, that's doing the job. It's a timber tree, this one. And then I'll just simply highlight some of those branches with the pure white as well, or very dirty but pure white. Like this one here that you couldn't see, we'll get him there like that. This one here that you couldn't see, get him out there with some snow on it. Bits of snow caught up in the fork of the tree there. Bits of snow on that branch. Let's just see what this looks like once I've done it. I might add real values to the tree. There. There. And then just to finish those off, grab your black and then watch this. Where are we? See here, get some shadow. Just pulling down. It kind of sits them into the tree body there. Hopefully. I've just looked in the monitor, I feel it needs some up and downy strokes. I'm out here somewhere. I got some more white and the blue, same stuff here, that one's dry, that's all. And I want to mix this up just to create the road in the front of the snow there. So pretty much from here, I just want to come across here, cut that back and come around. And I'll just simply get this, if I can. Let's get that up there. It's pushing that back. It's supposed to be there. I wanted it to come around. Just making a dark road. I want to try and get this road with some snow build up on the side of it so it'll make up for the weird shape of it. Now we can scrumble this if it's going to, if not, don't worry about it. Come back to that, we'll detail it. I'm grabbing more pure white just so as I can make something along here. So I'm stamping it on just like so. Get it to the top there, that's pushed that tree and that stuff back. Coming along there to nothing. Just grab a darker bit of blue on the tip of that brush, just to distinguish where that is meeting the road there. There we go. We can have a darker bit, just if we can get any on the brush. It's still wet, that's why. Bits there and maybe some bits there, and just stroke it through the shape of the road though. Then we just highlight this with our snow where we want it to be. So I'm using pure white and I want to come from here and just let it come down and lace over that mound. It's like a big, the side of the road's been shoveled over. And this is from the top, just scraping down into that darker and medium dark colour there. Pure white. Fiddly bits right along here. There we go, something there. I'll fade this side back. Very minimal light values coming across the road, just to make up some kind of casting shadows of bits and bobs. Casting shadows across roads always look great. Okay, let's get over here from about here and then just start putting this in from the here. We'll go about so high. The bottom of this, I want to create some kind of shadow there, just like that. Left and right, in cahoots with your horizon line area. Just from that structure there, I want to grab from the bottom some browny white colour. Is that the right colour? And I want to put some trunks just coming up through here. twist them, let them fade away. Now that trunk's there. I want this one, say, here, so it looks more forward. It's a little bit fatter. And we'll just twist this up into the structure. All the way up. You could probably get a nice, vibrant, bright bit somewhere there, or not too fat. This will all be sunken back with the detail of the trees. But they're bright enough to be seen. Okay, back with my deer foot. I'm getting the white into that black. And I'm using the deer foot because I've got control of these little airy edges there. And I'm going to just simply dance around those trunks that I've put in there, sitting them down within the tree canopy, the tree system there, the tree body. There we go. Just trying to find the right vibe as well, and sort of blacky browny white. Let's get this all covered here. Keep looking at your work, that's what I'm doing. I'm trying not to make too many patterns though. I'll come right across here and lighten this up. Now I'm going back to my flat brush and the white paint, and I simply want to just, I don't know, bring that down in front of that. Let's put some darker blue back in here so it looks a bit gully-like, like that, hopefully, yeah. And then grab a white brush again, just for the pure white, just so as we can highlight that. Now I've just got the black burn umber on the script liner, just for a bit of added quality. Let's go here. Couple of sticks, fence posts. Could probably put one over here. We'll put one more post about here, just sitting that back, down into that dark area of the snow. Just grab your script liner and make a light grey, the right value, just to cast a bit of a shadow. I don't know, we'll go this way. But the shadow, I don't want a solid thick line, that's too sharp. I want it blurry, a little bit blurry, like that. Where's my paint gone that I mixed up? Get this one casting across the road, that one, and this one can be there, something like that. Now I suppose, which I will do, I'm going to grab a filbert brush. See the big tree now, what I've gone and done, I've put these shadows here, but this is not casting a shadow. So what I'll do, the paint's reasonably dry, I'll grab some of that browny grey. So what I want to do, it's coming over there, and then it's probably, there's that. Can I have a look at that? That's kind of all right. We'll get something just thickening the body of it up here. I'm just looking backwards and forwards into my monitor all the time. I'll get some of it back there, some of it back here. Not bad. Some of this, because shadows can be distorted. They don't have to be a mirror image. Like to put my signature on here. Okay, we'll whack a frame on this. There we go. That's not too shabby. It looks nice in the frame, doesn't it? A winter landscape. I know you can do it. Well, what a lot of fun that was. It turned out okay. I hope you had a lot of fun watching this. If you did, give me a comment, subscribe and share, and tell your friends if you like what I'm doing. But if you don't like what I'm doing, hey, you tell everybody. Also, I'd like you to check out this other video I got on my channel here. Goodbye, good luck, and good on ya.